It sure is. Absolutely. For the purposes of posterity, historical moments, and tracking. I don't know. It's utterly important that to me that we record this video because not everybody can be on it at this moment, but also because what we're doing is so incredibly historical. What we're doing is something that has never, ever, ever been done before in the state of Alaska. And so because of that, I want us to be able to look back and go, remember when we were so fresh and so new and we really didn't know what we were doing, but we really believed we could figure it out. And that's the purpose of today's call, is to realize that we absolutely can figure it out. All right, we have another coming on in. Here we go. Yay! Peoples. Okay. Witten. Hello, Witten. Welcome to the party today. All right.
Hey there. I'm
Hello.
going to be moving around and doing stuff while I listen in. I have another Zoom where there's another Ryan, and so I just go by my last name sometimes. But my name's
okay.
Ryan Witten.
Hi, Ryan. I'm Sarah Williams. It's nice to meet you. Welcome. Yeah, we're just it's mostly gonna be talking, there'll be some slides, so you might want to look a bit, but more so just tune in. Just listen for sure. Welcome
Sounds
to the
great.
call.
Thank you.
What's your, real quick, Ryan, what's your interest in hemp?
Boy. I think there's a lot of potential applications for hemp. I'm excited to see an industry develop around hemp in Alaska. I think we've got a lot of area where it could be grown and a lot of applications for it. So more just kind of listening, learning, trying to see how I can support and what that might look like.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here. Welcome, Cache. I saw you come on in. Here we go.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, look at your beautiful tree. I love it. Yes. My son did this one this year. He did all the tree decorating on his own this year. So it was super fun. All right. I'm going to wait 2 more minutes and then we'll get going. Yay. I'm excited for the turnout today. Wonderful. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Just want to encourage everyone while we're waiting to take a peek over at Hemp for Alaska if you have not been there yet. So Hemp for Alaska is our group being managed by Sacred Seeds Foundation that really is designed to just talk about hemp for Alaska. I thought really long and hard, honestly, about the preposition of in Alaska versus for Alaska. And what we're trying to do is so much for Alaska more than it is just an in Alaska kind of a thing. And so Hemp for Alaska came about as just a place to draw the community together and just have these conversations and somebody has an idea about something to do with hemp. Well, then let's bring that to the conversation and let's see how we can make it happen. The entire purpose is to just grow hemp, and produce things out of it. And so we don't have to reinvent the wheel, which is wonderful here in Alaska. We can just use the systems and the technologies that are already in place, but just implement them in the Alaskan economy. And that's the intention of what we're doing for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Again, welcome everyone. My name is Sarah Williams. I am the president and founder of Sacred Seeds Foundation. I'll discuss Sacred Seeds a little bit later in the call today. Today's purpose of the call, though, is to discuss a Mat-Su Valley Hemp Manufacturing Facility for building materials. And so on the call with me, I have Drew Sablon, who's going to be our project manager for this project of GreenBuild Composites, and he'll be sharing a little bit more in the near moments ahead of us. I have Cache Garrett, who is our chief of staff and our chaplain for Sacred Seeds Foundation. And I have Lindsay Poole, who is our director of regulatory affairs and our constitutional advocate. And speaking of the constitutional advocate, I'd like Lindsay to share a moment about some words from our Constitution that guide us in what we're doing today. Lindsay.
Okay, can you all hear me okay?
I can't.
Okay, so I am a constitutional advocate. Back in 2020, I was led to dig very deeply into not only the federal constitution and the Bill of Rights, but also every state's constitution and its corresponding Bill of Rights. And so for today, I am going to read Alaska Constitution, Article 1, Section 1, and Article 1, Section 2. The text of Article 1, Section 1 reads, Inherent Rights. The Constitution is dedicated to the principles that all persons have a natural right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and the enjoyment of the rewards of their own industry. That all persons are equal and entitled to equal rights, opportunities, and protection under the law, and that all persons have corresponding obligations to the people and to the state. The text of Article 1, Section 2 reads, Source of government. All political power is inherent in the people. All government originates with the people, is founded upon their will only, and is instituted solely for the good of the people as a whole.
Thank you, Lindsay. One of the reasons that I had her share that is because we are the people right here having a conversation about hemp for Alaska. We are the people. So we are a governing body at this moment. And that is what's powerful for me to recognize that as Alaskans, we have to stand up for our state. As Alaskans, we have to understand that if we don't do something different, we won't have a state worthy of saving. We absolutely have to do something different. And that's where hemp comes to play. The ability for the hemp plant to do 50,000 different things with its one plant and all of its different pieces is mind-blowing for me. It is absolutely just continues to shock me with what can be done. I know last time we've had conversations in previous calls about things like just wood pellets or hemp pellets, you know, for pellet stoves. We've talked about kitty litter, right? Like that's awesome. I definitely as a cat owner would love that product. But there's so many things, so many tiny uses for it that could replace the things that we use right now that currently destroy our environment to cut down a tree or to dig up even more oil. We can do great things with hemp. And so that is the purpose of today. Let's get into our presentation. All right. So we're going to go ahead. I'll start my slideshow. Oh, but first I better share my screen, huh? All right, let's share the screen. There we go. All right, everybody see my screen? Anybody? Hands up. Is it there? All right, sounds good. Okay, so today's purpose of our call, of our conversation, is to talk about the Matsu Valley Hemp Processing Facility. This is a Sacred Seeds Foundation planting for hemp for Alaska. So what is Sacred Seeds Foundation? Well, Sacred Seeds Foundation is sowing seeds in healing nations through dedicated advocacy and support for food sovereignty, industrial hemp, and in the end, plant-based holistic healthcare for all Alaskans. We have a 4-phase plan that we seek to do for our state. Phase 1 is we attack building materials. So GreenBuild Composites is what we're discussing today. Phase 2 is a manufacturing facility for fiber, textiles, paper. Phase 3 is a manufacturing facility that covers bioplastics, biofuels, and foods. And then the 4th is to funnel all the profits from all the things that we're doing into healthcare for all Alaskans. That is no cost to our citizens and plant-based medicine first and foremost. And so our first initiative that we're coming out with is GreenBuild Composites. This is a carbon negative building materials hub, which will be located in the Mat-Su Valley. We're currently determining where. Somewhere between Houston and Point McKenzie looks good, but we're really trying to figure out where the best location is going to be for that. And so we fully intend to have that nailed down within the next couple months. So we will be producing hempcrete, hemp insulation, and precast hemp panels. All right. Our vision and our mission for this is to build a regenerative hemp-based materials industry in the Mat-Su Valley, something the Mat-Su Valley really has never seen before, something that is really brand new, not brand new as a whole to our state, but in the intensity in which we intend to bring it, it is brand new. So our intent is to turn local hemp into safe, high-performance housing systems that are clean, fire-resistant, mold resistant, pest resistant, and also as part of this to create durable jobs and pathways out of housing insecurity. But why hemp, right? I just mentioned it. It's fire and mold resistant in our harsh Alaskan climates. It's breathable, it's non-toxic. To make hempcrete, you have, well, I'll let Drew cover that later, but it's breathable. And again, non-toxic. So if you know anything about me, I am all about producing a clean future for my family and for our people. And it supports healthy indoor air. It also sequesters and stores carbon for the life of the building. So there was a study that was done that showed that hemp walls are fire resistant for over 2 hours. Even at 572 degrees Fahrenheit, they don't burn, smoke, or collapse. So when wildfire season comes, how much more peace could come for our people if they knew that their buildings were not as fire friendly as current reality. Okay, and so that's the quick and dirty of hemp, right? And why hemp? I'm going to turn it over real quick to Andrew and let Drew introduce himself. Drew came along this journey with us because honestly, we're just aligned, right? We're just aligned with this idea that hemp can save Alaska. We can all be hemp heroes, and Drew has just brought forth great ideas. And he just seemed like a perfect fit with his Mat-Su Hemp House project, which he'll talk about in a moment, to project manage this and just be the lead on this. So I'm really, really excited to welcome him, Andrew Sablon.
Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Sablon, as Sarah said, and I live on Kodiak currently, but I am relocating to the Matanuska Valley. And I have been in the cannabis industry for 36 years, and I've been in construction before in my life. And I've always known hemp is just an amazing plant and has so much potential, and it's been, suppressed for all the wrong reasons, mostly greed and money. But to get away from that, I want to get into how we're going to set up GreenBuild Composites. I've been researching lots of different machinery and manufacturing. And basically, hemp, after it's grown, comes in, and they use two parts of it. You have the hurd and you have the bast fiber, and the fiber is used for many textiles and different almost carbon fiber like materials. And the hurd is really what we're concentrating on first, where you can make hempcrete and hemp board and basically cast panels. And we're going to have this giant machine, and it pretty much is a self-processing, and it has vacuums to keep dust down. And it pretty much, the basics of it is where the bale gets put on the machine and it goes through to decortation, which it cleans the fiber, and the shive cleaning gets separated, and then it goes into the refining after that. And you have two separate products right at your end game to put into the different parts of manufacturing. And from there, there's of course, it's a grown plant, so there's stones and metal and just different things. But the plant actually takes care of all that with screens and air pressure and has it all ready to go and ready for processing to the next step. So you take these giant bales as they'll come in, being grown all over Alaska. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have all this sourced material that's going to be the best of the best fibers. I mean, we're going to have, it's going to change the housing industry up here completely. And we're going to have these bales, and we're basically put them on this machinery, and there's one machine, it's called the hemp train, which I'm very curious and interested at, and I'll be going down and researching some of these facilities and machinery as we go forward. And it's pretty simple. It's farming kind of process where it takes it and you're has OSHA approved vacuum equipment to keep it safe and you don't have to breathe in particulates. I have asthma myself, so it's one thing I really care about. And this machine is going to be just agricultural machinery. It's a beautiful thing. So decortation, it takes it and it's kind of a roller with knobs on it. I've been researching a lot of it, and it takes it and breaks the stalks and kind of just shreds it and keeps these long fibers. And the longer, the better for doing different projects. And that's the bast fiber that comes out. And when it pulls the woody core out, then you have these herds that are left behind for hempcrete work and road mediation, just thousands of different projects as we get into the herd. So it shakes it down through a screen and a vacuum cyclone. It gets all the little particles out in the dust. And from there, you have this beautiful, clean herd product that everyone's going to want to use across the state for building and making hempcrete. And with the fiber refinement, that goes on to another side. That takes it where it cards it just like they would with wool or any other kind of materials like that. And it aligns the fibers so it gets into those strands that get together. And the air, of course, it's just more vacuum and getting that dust and getting it more purified. And you get the finished fiber and it's baled to be sent for insulation, which is a hemp wool type product, which is a whole nother facet of this amazing plant. And when it's at that point, then it's really, set to go and be stuffed in walls and used across the state. And bagging and storage, the herd is bagged into bulk sacks for mixing or sale. And, hempcrete, it's the herd's lime and water. It's such a simple process and it's been done for centuries, since prehistoric times. They've used this plant. And once it's all graded and stored away, the storage, they've used some of this herd and product that is stored for 10 years. Not that we're going to have a problem selling it, but 10 years old, they've used this product where it's been mold free and resistant and still totally usable, straight as it is.
Nice.
And again, hempcrete mixing, I've done a little construction. I've mixed, concrete. A lot of us have just little pads and such. And, sand is heavy. And when you're mixing hemp herds and lime and water, you're getting all that air in between. So you're dealing with a much lighter product. And it has amazing insulator product properties as well. And basically, it's as simple as it looks. It has this machinery and it just twists it around. And maybe one day there'll be cement trucks going across the state bringing hempcrete to pour and 3D printers, making this process happen. And our state has, a housing crisis, as we all know. And with the tsunamis on Kodiak and the crazy windstorms in the valley and the flooding everywhere else, having something that is grown in state where we don't have to wait on shipped materials when we have natural disasters is going to be paramount to the future of the state.
Absolutely.
So again, precast hempcrete panels, wham bam, can slap them up, and with that, and even going into the molds where it's reusable. I mean, it's just the waste is just used in the hemp plant every turn you make, and these panels last. And as Sarah said, the for wildfires, the principles of having something as a 2 hour burn through. Most wildfires rush through an area. If it's 2 hours, is just unheard of. So when you have these embers flying, if you have a house that doesn't burn, is that just a sense of relief. And if something does happen, it's easily rebuildable and from products that we already have in state.
Speaking
And
of,
hempcrete blocks, just so many different ways to make them. You can have them. There's ones that have ridges and different, hemp plastic inserts where they can get just amazing insulative properties. And, the science is coming and architects and engineers are starting to pay attention. And the coding for this product is coming where there'll even be more uses of it in the building industry.
mm-hmm.
And hemp fiber insulation, personally, I've stuffed insulation in many, many jobs throughout my life and been itchy and covered with the glass. And even the paper stuff isn't that great because it's dusty and it has little breaks off. So I'm super excited to be able to insulate this and even use this in my hemp house project, which I haven't really gotten into, but that's where I'm going to make a house out of hemp the most I can, every part and which way, down to the tables and cabinets.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
again, hemp as it's grown, the carbon negative benefits, it's amazing. And even as it grows, it just as it grows so fast, it eats up so much carbon dioxide and releases so much oxygen. And
Hold on. I'm getting
all
there.
right.
All right. Let's get one more here. There we go. Okay.
Okay. Excellent. I wasn't sure when I was taking over or when you were taking over. So the facility layout concept is basically a big warehouse with a machine that goes in it. And there's so many different styles of machinery right now. And the innovative, next year there's going to be 10, 20 other kinds of machines that are even more efficient and more amazing to make this plant broken down into the separate parts that we need it to be broken down to.
I
So
love
it's
this one specifically. These are images from Dakota Hemp, South Dakota Hemp, that just came out. This is their brand new hemp train. And I'm telling you, I don't know how many marketing things in the world just jumped through my head with regards to we can all jump on the hemp train. And then Drew was like, why don't we just like paint it like the Alaskan train? The colors are already kind of yellow and blue there. Like, oh, let's go.
yeah. And I plan on going down to see this facility and also talking. I've been reaching out to the manufacturers of these products as well on LinkedIn and other places. So the it's set in motion as far as finding the best of the best, and people are so willing to help to see this happen in Alaska as well.
So good. So good. So what's our equipment and capital snapshot there?
So right now, the equipment capital snapshot is basically having from once we have land to put it and have the modular decortation and refining line size to the amount of farms we have. So we start, planting a seed, and as we spread and have the facility grow as the demand is required. And we have our right out of the gates, besides the hemp train, we'll have the hempcrete mixing, the block making, the panel manufacturing, the hemp wool product, and we'll need the dust collection and conveyors and support systems throughout, of course, and all has to be through OSHA and state approved. I've jumped through a lot of hoops with building inspectors, and yeah, it's just baby steps and getting through it all and answering their questions and making this happen.
Absolutely. And so thank you, Drew, so much for your presentation. It's all baby steps. It's one step at a time. It's one step of faith at a time. Like we see the vision, right? That's the whole purpose of today's call, is to show you the vision, and then we're going to do it. But we haven't done what we're going to do before. So we're going to figure it out, right? One step at a time. But here are some things that I'd like to point out. When it's all said and done, what our intention and our belief is that we are looking at 200 to 400 direct jobs in the processing, manufacturing, and logistics. Our goal is to support farmers, support transport, support building partners across the region to build these relationships with these individuals. And of course, our focus is on prioritizing housing for homeless Alaskans, veterans, just building new developments in growing areas, specifically like the Mat-Su Valley, and something that is a green building. Rochelle, I saw your comment, so give me just a moment. We'll get through this, and then I'll touch base on that. And so our roadmap and our next steps. The first step is to finalize our site selection, the facility design in the Mat-Su Valley, to confirm our equipment vendors, or shipping, installation timelines, secure our anchor projects with builders and other housing partners, and then close the investment, build out the facility, and launch the pilot production. We really do have a timeline that is really short, and it's very bold. We would love to see that we have our funding secured before spring begins in 2026. We then use the spring and the summer to build the building, and then also simultaneously secure the contracts for farmers, make sure that we have enough farmers to grow our initial beginning crop. then during the spring and summer to help those farmers get started, support them all the way through harvest. This is not just us building. It's a bit like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come, right? I know that there are a number of farmers around this state that will absolutely grow industrial hemp if they know they have someplace to sell it. 100%. I know that. However, until we give them the facility, someplace to sell it, many are not willing to take that first step. So that's the general timeline. So then fall, winter, we begin processing. We assist with the harvest. And then winter, spring, we'll dial in the processes. We'll begin the sales. We'll secure more farmer contracts. We'll grow. And then if we must to continue operations at the facility, we'll ship in from the lower 48 if we have to. But ideally, we won't. Ideally, we'll just plan acreage and farm and go. But we're going to learn as we go, right? And make plan A through plan Z for backup plans on that. All right. So our question to you, those of you that are on this call and those of you that will be watching this in the future, will you help us build a greener future for Alaska? And how can you get involved with this project? So number one, we're looking for investors. We're looking for investors that want to help us buy machinery. We're looking for investors that are willing to help us build out the land. We are looking for a number of just anyone that is willing to financially get behind this project. We'd like to talk to you. If you have felt that you want to be a part of the development of this, where you want to be a part of the development of the actual facility and you want to help the build out process, or you want to help get the equipment rolling, then Drew is your man. And so we need help with that. We also need help with community partners. We need help with those who builders who are interested in using hemp, or farmers who are interested in growing it on their lands. We need a number of community partners to make this happen. And then finally, our giving partners. We are a nonprofit organization. We are not designed here for the purposes to make a bunch of money off the hemp industry. Our goal is to take our profits and put it back into healthcare for Alaskans. We believe that we are mature enough as a society to pay for healthcare for all of our people, that we can figure that out, that we can absolutely kill insurance companies, and we don't need to do that anymore. We're creating something new with that, and we intend to guide all of our profits created into healthcare for everyone, that are plant-based medicine facilities first and pharmaceuticals dead last. So we're looking for hemp heroes who would like to donate. We are currently looking for seed money donations on our Give, Send, Go page. You can visit sacredseedsusa.org and it will point you to our Give, Send, Go page to show you all the things that we're attempting to work on. Our first step is, of course, developing the basis foundation for Sacred Seeds, but also for our hempforhealthcare.com, which is an e-commerce platform which will be used to sell all of these products in addition to every Alaskan grown and made product we can find, to keep the money here in Alaska, building again that profit base for healthcare for everyone. So please help us sow seeds to help us heal Alaska. So our questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and get back into our questions here. So Rochelle, thank you for that question. The number that we are looking at is it's kind of a large span. It's a 5 million to 10 million number. We are still, because we're still looking at the cost of equipment, and we're still looking at an actual, building, whether we're going to rent or buy or build, or how are we going to do that. Some of our costs are not actually able to be solidified just yet, but we're working on that at the moment. So we are looking at about a 5 million to 10 million run on that. Does that answer your question, Rochelle? Perfect. And yes, and the link is in the chat for those of you that would like to give. All right. Any questions? Let's have conversation here. I personally am very excited about this movement. Thank you, Drew, for sharing those details with regard to the process. We're going to figure out it as we go. right? And we are absolutely 100% confident in our ability to do that because it's necessary, because we need hemp for Alaska. That's what we need. Absolutely. Right? Any thoughts? Ryan, what did you think of what we heard? Nobody has any thoughts? Okay.
Yeah, I'll come off of mute real quick and just, share. I just want to say thank you for sharing a little bit more about the work that you guys have planned out. It's been really cool to learn more about how the processing equipment and stuff has evolved. I haven't been looking at it closely, but I do understand that that's a pretty consistent bottleneck for folks who are looking at potentially cultivating hemp in Alaska. And so it'd be nice to see that roadblock get taken out, because I think that could open up a lot of other avenues for us. I want to say thank you, and then unfortunately I'm going to have to hit the road here. But thanks for sharing, and I'll be looking forward to following along more.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Awesome. Rochelle, what are your thoughts? Or Sandra?
I am just curious, do we have an investor's pitch yet? And what kind of returns are we considering for investors?
Right. So good question. So we do not yet have a pitch deck completed. It's still being in the process. One of the conversations that Mary and I had last week was determining to what kind of funding do we want to put towards each thing. And so we don't have actual ROI numbers yet or of that nature. That is what we are working on right now.
Okay, wonderful.
Perfect.
And have you guys looked at?
Let me know when you have it ready. I've got some people waiting to see it.
Perfect. Yes. Rochelle, go ahead.
Is there still a local cannabis association out here in the Valley?
That's a good question. I do not know. I will look into that for sure.
The AMIA, like the Alaska Marijuana Industry Association, but
yes.
they're not as tied in as far as with hemp as much. I mean, there's the statewide hemp program that I know of.
No, I was just looking at asking the cannabis growers if they want to throw some money at the hemp.
Right. And they are on our list of conversations to be having over the next 2 to 3 weeks, month or so, is to begin to reach out to each of the growers and ask them to participate in this for sure. As a retail shop owner, Drew was our very first donor. So he believed that the cannabis industry really should come alongside its sister plant and support this initiative. And so I'm very thankful for his donation. But you're right, Rochelle, for sure. We need to go down that route. For sure. Awesome. Okay. Any other thoughts?
I would like to say that I'm very excited for, like you said, Sarah, the very vast amount of things that hemp can do. And with the amount of things that hemp can do, that's so many jobs secured for Alaskans, jobs that start here, jobs that stay here, jobs that will ultimately feed Alaskans. We're a very self-sufficient bunch. And to give us more tools for self-sufficiency, I just think is really exciting, especially when you think of all of these big conglomerates that have taken over down in the lower 48s, and like the big manufacturers, and just what a relief to be able to put some tools and some resources into the hands of the people who are our neighbors. The Bible says to love your neighbor as yourself. And what greater way to love your neighbor than to give them a way to feed themselves and to clothe their families, not only by the work that they do, but by the products that they create. So.
Yes. Yes. That is the motivating factor. We serve the people. We are a non-governmental organization, but we serve the people. People of Alaska deserve manufacturing. And I am done. I'm done sitting around and listening and watching all these complaining individuals complaining about it, expecting the government to do it. And of course, the government's not going to do it. It's not the government's place to do it. Private capital needs to step up and private individuals need to step up. And hence that's what we're doing, is we're stepping up with an ambitious, driven decision to invest in Alaska in a way that's never been done before, but in a way that's vitally necessary for our economy, for our people, for the health of our residents, and for the future of our state. So I thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And I really look forward to these continued conversations that we're going to have about GreenBuild Composites over the course of the winter. What's coming out next is that investor pitch. What's coming out next is that what can we expect for ROIs? Because without money, we can't do any of this. So it's vitally important that we spend the next rest of our holiday season and the next 30 days really honing in on looking for that money and coming up with what they want to hear so that we can secure funding for this. Because then once funding is secured, there will be a great release of belief among the people that we are truly going to do this, that this isn't just a bunch of talk, that this is in fact funded, ready to go, and we are so excited about it. In the meantime, we've got faith for everyone involved, so it's fine. We'll keep walking it through. God's going to keep blessing it just like he always does, and we will walk this thing out in power and presence and whatever we need to do, because whatever it takes, like, I don't fail. Like, whatever it takes, we're going to figure this thing out. So I thank you again, everyone. Have a very happy, Merry Christmas, happy holiday season. Thank you for joining us today. And stay tuned on Hemp for Alaska and Facebook, sacredseedsusa.org. Join the journey. It's going to be a fun one. All right. God bless you guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Sarah.